Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the Los Angeles Lakers are playing the Portland Trailblazers. Yeah, Portland Trailblazers, 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern. Finally got a game that's closer to the regular schedule. Of course, we're finally home again. The Lakers have been on a road trip that seemed to last forever. As JJ Redick called it, we had like a 9-game road trip with a layover in Los Angeles for like 36 hours. So that's kind of how this has been. We've been getting beat a lot, coming off 3-game losing streak against the Hawks. We had a close game but lost in overtime off of a miscue defensively on Trae Young, where he hit the game-winning shot. A lot to be frustrated about there. Of course, the game before that got blew out by 41 to the Miami Heat. Game before that, we got blew out by 27 or something like that to the Minnesota Timberwolves. So yeah, this team has been struggling, man. This team has been struggling a lot, and of course we're running into a Portland team that's tanking. Also has their share of injuries as well. Um, the way it goes for the Portland Trailblazers, their last 5 games they were 1-4. Pacers, they lost to. They beat the Mavericks. Uh, no, they beat the Kings, excuse me, and then they lost to the Mavericks, the Clippers, and then got blew out by 42 to the Utah Jazz in their last matchup. So this is a team that is not very good, but that's by design. They're trying to tank for Flag. You know what I'm saying? Be bad for Flag, be lazy for Bailey. That's what I call it. So we expect to beat this team tonight on our home floor. Obviously, with both teams struggling, you would be surprised either way. But the Portland Trailblazers are bad, really bad. They do have a good offensive rebounding team. From what I understand, they're like 6th overall in offensive rebounding. So aside from that, I don't think they have too much they can throw at you. Although, with us playing the way we've been playing, you never know. So good news for us is Austin Reeves is a game time decision. I personally think he should probably miss this game too. Just go ahead and sit this one out since we're playing against a tank team, and then we have 4 days off this week before we play the Minnesota Timberwolves in Minnesota again. So yeah, I personally think whoever wants to rest this game probably should, since it's a tanking squad with injuries. I think Bron could probably sit this one. AD could probably sit this one. We could really sit a lot of people. If we got any sense, we probably will. So that's just my hunch on things. I think the Lakers may change their tune in regards to who plays this basketball game and who don't. I think that even though the injury report is telling us we're likely only going to be missing the regulars, which are Wood and Vanderbilt, of course Jackson Hayes, who's out for another week or two. But in my opinion, if I'm the Lake organization, I'm resting some more people. So look out for that. I think that's a good chance they do that. As far as the Blazers are concerned, they got Klingon out. He's not going to be playing tonight. Scoot Henderson's a game time decision. He's missed the last couple of games, but of course he may want to play against the Lakers. You know how that goes. Who else is missing, man? There was somebody else too. It's not coming to mind. I think Jeremy Grant is good to go tonight, so we'll get a chance to look at him. Robert Williams, of course, is out. And I was listening to Trevor Lane this morning talking about how he wanted to get a look at Robert Williams. And the joke for me was, you are. Because if you bring Robert Williams to your teams, that's exactly what he's going to look like. Out most of the time. He's injury prone, man. He plays average like 30 games a season. It's not worth it to try to bring in him and letting go of any assets that you actually want. I believe in him as a player when he's healthy, but like I said, he ain't never healthy. So that's a no-go for me. I do understand we could use him as a center, and maybe I trade a piece that I just don't want for him. Like if you want to take Jackson Hayes for Robert Williams, I'd be willing to send you Jackson Hayes. But other than that, I'm probably not really giving up any assets, picks, or anything like that for a player I expect to play 30 games. I really think that's the only way to address that situation with him, man. He's just not worth it. But anyway, back to what we're talking about, the Lakers. Tonight, 6:30, Lakers and Blazers, and I don't know, man. I'm worn out by this team, to be honest with you, y'all. I'm worn out, man. This team has been struggling, and having all these early games doesn't make it any easier to try to keep up with them. The condensed schedule. We played like, 10 out of the last 15 nights or something crazy like that. It's been tough, and they've been doing a lot of losing, and a lot of mistakes have been made on the basketball court, defensively, switching all the time, stuff like that. Errant passes, being lazy, getting back, that type of stuff is just hard to watch. You know what I mean? So that's my attitude. I'm looking forward to this 4 days off where we don't have to think about Lakers, talk about Lakers, do any homework on any of these teams, and none of that. Just, live our lives and to get back to this thing 4 days from now, where hopefully we'll be a bit healthier. Because health has had a lot to do with a lot, man. LeBron James has snapped out of his funk. That's a good thing. He was in a nice long shooting slump and turnover slump, but he seems to have broken that. But we haven't won any games with him shooting well. Of course, he had 38 points. What was it? 10 rebounds, 11 assists or something like that. Triple-double showed up in the last game. Bunch of defensive stats as well. But at the end of the game, we still found ourselves losers, man. I thought his go-ahead shot with like 4 seconds to go from behind the arc. Some people are saying it was a good shot. They don't blame him because he's an older player, probably don't want to play 2 overtimes. But my thing is, if we're going to put out all the energy that gets us to overtime, we should be willing to do what it takes to win the game. And I just don't think that particular shot was the best look we could have found. He should have drove to the rim. That's what I think. Drive to the win, go for the and one, hit the free throw instead of stopping and popping from behind the arc, bricking the shot, and that closing us out. So I don't know, man. I can't tell him what to do. Obviously, he's one of the greatest players ever played, but in my opinion, I just thought we could have found a higher percentage shot, especially with him being on this 3-point shooting slump that he's just now snapping out of. I don't need the game-winning shot to be you shooting a 3. That's just not the highest percentage look. If we want to look for a 3-point shot in that situation, why not look for hot hands like Rui Hachimura, who ain't missed a 3-point shot in 3 games, or a guy like of course, a guy like the rookie Dalton Knecht, who's known for hitting 3-point shots. I just think there are other opportunities to get that same look. And I think we were a bit mentally lazy and not all that intelligent in that Atlanta game. We brought the requisite amount of energy, which was a step forward or maybe 6 steps forward from what it was against the Heat. But if you want me to say that we played well, we didn't. We did good things, but we didn't play well. It takes more than just effort on a basketball floor. Your strategy got to make sense. And your decisions have to be on point, and I thought ours were not. So against the Portland Trail Blazers, of course, the difficulty is turned down a lot. They're playing on easy mode when you go up against a team like this. But the thing I would tell people in regards to this being a trap game, which all games against bad teams are trap games when you're us. But my thing would be just pay attention to the length of a guy like Denny Advija is one of those guys. Delano Blanton, another one. Jeremy Grant, Tamani Kamara. You know, when they won the game against the Sacramento Kings, the way they did it was by forcing turnovers. Sacramento had 20 turnovers. They forced 10 steals. And so when you look at that as a team, the Portland Trail Blazers, when they're at their best, which is not ever really, but when the rare occasion when they win, it's likely going to be them winning defensively and ultimately controlling the glass. Now, of course, they're missing their defensive anchor down there. The center they picked up, Donovan Clingan, he will not be out there as we understand, but they still have plenty of players who project to be good defensive pieces. They don't come together to make any sense defensively on this team most of the time, but if you send one of them random place, they could be a part of a good defensive situation. They got a lot of those guys, so we need to be very aware of that. As I've already mentioned, Denny Avdija is a guy who's been playing better. He's really a good player. He can get you boards, assists, points, so he's a nice forward that you're going to have to pay close attention to tonight, and if he's hot, it could be a problem for us. Anthony Simons, the one thing that's been consistent in the blowouts is Anthony Simons been shooting poorly from behind the arc. In the games where they were close, Dallas obviously winning against the Kings, and in the Pacer game, he was hot. So that's kind of been a consistent thing. If he's shooting poorly, they're probably getting blown out. When he's hot, they're going crazy. In the Dallas game, he had 24 points in the third quarter, mostly threes. I think that's how that went. Definitely impressive from Anthony Simons, but he hasn't shot well since. So keep an eye open for him if he's got it going. Obviously, we need to throw enough defense at him to slow him down. If he doesn't have it going, obviously he's probably the problem for his team in that regard. So that's something to pay attention to. Also, they don't really have a natural facilitator on this team at all without Scoot Henderson out there making assists happen for the team. Anthony Simons pretty much the backup point guard, and then you look down the roster, they really don't have one. So it's assists by committee, and that's one of the reasons why they're a bad team as well. They really do need to invest in a point guard when Scoot Henderson's on the floor. The way the roster's constructed, you could clearly see their intention on tanking. But they got a lot of length, a lot of wings. If you're shopping for wings, they got them, man. You talk about a guy like Chris Murray, Keegan Murray's twin brother. He's on this squad. Samaki Walker's son, Jabari's on this squad. Nice power forward. Dop Reef is on this team, another power forward that I like a lot. Ryan Rupert, another wing out there that can do things with length. So they're not lacking in length. Delano Blanton is already mentioned. They got plenty of length, and they just don't look to necessarily win basketball games, which is why none of it really comes together to make any sense. But, as far as small forwards and power forwards, players that can deflect, players that can create problems for you on the boards and stuff like that, they got plenty of. So if you throw errant passes around them, do expect for it to be a pick six. They got players that do that, man. They got solid three-point shooters, although against the Utah Jazz, I believe they shot like 28%, attempting 43 threes or something like that. Not great there for them, but, it's a bad team. What do you expect, man? So that's really what it comes down to. The Portland Trailblazers, like I said, offensive rebound is really where they make their money. And that's somewhere that we're not so strong. We've been giving up offensive rebounds in the double digits in a lot of the losses that we've taken on. And I think it was 11 of them given up against the Hawks or something like that. So we got to get our head together in regards to crashing the defensive glass and rebounding the long ball much better. That's one of the biggest complaints I've had about this basketball team. They really just miss out on opportunities to get defensive boards off of three-point shots. I don't understand it. Long shot, long board. Did we not learn this in grade school? I don't understand, but it's basketball 101 and we just seem to forget it. So if we can learn to rebound the long ball, I guarantee it'll cut down on half of our problems, because most teams shoot a lot of threes, and if you don't rebound that ball very well, then you're giving up offensive rebounds. So that's something I imagine is something that we're going to see a lot of tonight. Like I said, Portland attempts a lot of threes, they brick a lot of threes, and they rebound the ball. So that's a recipe for multiple opportunities for them to do things against us, and the Los Angeles Lakers must control that if they want to take care of this very, very easy matchup for them. So that's really what it comes down to. If we show up the way we did against the Hawks tonight against the Blazers, we should blow them out. If we show up the way we did in the three games prior on the road trip, we may lose the game. We know that Utah is a tanking team, and we barely beat them. As we mentioned, their coach called a timeout when his own team was about to lay the ball up at the buzzer just to make sure that they secured the loss. I'd imagine Portland will want to do something like that tonight. If something like that were to occur, they desperately want Cooper Flag just as bad as Utah does. And Washington is hot on their tail, having won their first game since October 30th, rather. So, last night they beat the Denver Nuggets with Jokic going off for 56 points. So, you pay attention to the tanking teams. They're paying attention to one another. And since we're facing one tonight, I'd imagine they want to lose bad. So that's really one of those situations, man, where I just say, hey, man, if we take care of business, Utah beat this team by 42 points, 41 points, whatever I just said. I do expect that there will be a great opportunity for us to continue piling on the punishment to this Portland team that ultimately just wants Cooper Flag, man. That's really what they want. They want to pair up Cooper Flag, Scoot Henderson, and Donovan Clingan. That's the goal for this franchise. Do expect that players that want to be Lakers are likely going to play well, though. A guy like Jeremy Grant, you could totally see him going off for a bunch of threes, rebounding, putbacks, stuff like that. Jeremy Grant has been banged up a little bit, but I just expect it. He's trying to audition for the Lakers, man. The Portland Trailblazers want, 2 first-round picks for him? He's never going to play up that value, but he definitely, I'm sure, would love to move on from a tanking situation as a win-now player. Although there are reports that he actually wants to be in Portland, I don't buy those reports at all. And a guy like Anthony Simon, like I said, he's coming off a 2-game slump after extremely hot games, so I just expect that he's going to snap out of that slump at some point, although he's on the road. The last time he did damage, I believe he was on the road. I think that Dallas game, if I'm not mistaken, was in Dallas. No, it was at home. I don't know. Whatever the case may be, he's been off for 2 nights. I don't expect that to continue for much longer. So, yeah, man, these are the type of things we're looking at, man. If Scoot Henderson's out there, this is a big body point guard made out of steel. He's capable of running up a lot of assists. I think that's my favorite aspect of his game. Then given the fact that he's only real facilitator at the guard spot, if he's out there, I wouldn't be surprised if he has over 10 assists tonight. It wouldn't shock me at all. He's going to drive at the rim, put pressure on the rim. His three-point shot comes and goes. He's not really a three-point shooter, but he tends to hit the shot here and there. So Scoot Henderson's definitely someone to circle on this team if he's available, and I do think he'll probably try to give it a go as a game-time decision. It will be a welcome sight to see Austin back if he does come back, because we really miss his aggressiveness. We miss his attention that he just, it draws, given the fact that he's always looking to score and attempt shots and things of that nature. And just really instills a great deal of aggressiveness to our offensive end and our rebounding situation. So, like I said, I do want him to miss this game for the sake of just fully healing from what he's dealing with. That was a bad fall he took several nights ago. But if he is available, it would be nice to see him out there. And so, yeah, man, Rui Hachimura, I want to see if he continues his hot streak, man. We've been giving him an average of like 6 shots a game. He's hit pretty much all of them every night. I don't know why we won't up his attempts. I don't know why people aren't identifying, hey, look, hot guy, give him ball, pause. But, like, literally, give him the damn ball. I don't understand why we're not doing that, but, like, that's something the Lakers need to be doing. Seriously. He's the hot hand, feed him. You know, nobody else is really hitting shots like that. Why would we not? So that's my thing with Rui. I understand his defense has been a drag. We have not seen a whole lot good defensive assignment reads, all different types of stuff defensively he's kind of been struggling with. But you lean into a guy's strength. You know what I mean? You don't look at all the stuff he's doing wrong and then see him making every damn shot he takes and say, nah, we got to sit him down because he's messing up on defense. Overfeed him on the offensive end and make up for the defensive issues. It helps you that way. Definitely like what I saw from Gabe Vincent in the last game. I think we all can agree that Gabe Vincent played his best Laker game last night. In the last game. He looked like Miami Gabe Vincent. Hopefully that carries over, man. Like I said, his conditioning has been coming along, as I had mentioned before the last game, and it's not a surprise to see him starting to be more aggressive. Plus, it seems to me that he reacts well to starting. He started in that last game, and that's when he gave us his most production. So I don't know if that's a recipe for success, keeping him in the starting lineup. He is undersized, and we complain a great deal about how we switch everything, and ultimately he's the guy to hunt in those situations. But given the fact that we've had some cold guards, I'm not against giving him more opportunities if he's going to do well with those opportunities. That's a far cry from what we've been talking about, but I do think when a guy's playing well, you reward him in general. So that's a thought. Like what I see from Max Christie, he's been kind of under the radar as a guy that's been playing better, doing things that we need him to do. His three-point shot's starting to come around. He's driving at the rim a bit more with more confidence, getting to the line, hitting his free throws. And, of course, on the defensive end, he's always one of our better perimeter defensive players. So I like what I'm seeing from Max Christie after starting the season extremely slow. He's now starting to get his act together. And just in time for the Lakers, it really is just about reps for a guy like Max Christie. Just like I say in regards to other players on this team that are young, they just need to be given opportunities and not, docked for making mistakes. Just keep on running the young players and let them get better and better and better and pay close attention to them and coach them up. I think the same thing about Jalen Hood-Schifino, Max Lewis, all of our rookies, all of our young guys, Bronny James. You just got to run them out there, give them their opportunities. Speaking of Bronny James, he had a career-high 16 points in the G League last night. Saw highlights of that. He looks strong, come back from his injury, driving at the rim with a lot of confidence. I want to continue to see him get the reps in the G. If he continues on the trajectory he's on, starting where that was, we may have a player someday. So I'm very happy to see him get his opportunities. And I still think we need to call up Quincy Olivari. They should never be on the same team at the same time. Quincy Olivari only attempted 6 shots on the game where Bronny scored 16 points. I do believe that people do not want Quincy to outshine Bronny. I stand by that. And I think that they shouldn't be on the same team at the same time. If you got one place, put the other one in the other place. That's kind of how you got to do it. Stop, docking one for the other or what have you. So that's my thinking there. It's just an organizational decision, and I think it's hurting the development of both players. I really do. So, yeah, that's where my head is, man. Los Angeles Lakers will be wearing their white uniforms, of course, on the weekends. We always wear white. And the Portland Trail Blazers will be wearing their black road unis on our floor. It should be traditional floor tonight. I don't think we'll do anything special there tonight. So hopefully we get a victory, man. I'm tired, bro. Honestly, when it comes to this team, when it comes to this schedule, I'm just exhausted. I'm looking forward to this 4-day break about as much as I've ever looked forward to any break in basketball in my life, bro. It's just been a real condensed schedule, very inconvenient scheduling for the times of each of these games, and we need a break. I think the team needs a break. I think the talking heads need a break. Coaches need a break. We all need to be able to breathe, and the schedule makers have not allowed us that in about a month. So, yeah, when this game horns at the end, I'm going to be very happy. Hopefully we get the win, and that's pretty much what it is. Of course, I'll have something for you at halftime and throughout the course of the day. If something pops up, of course, I'll make a video. But at the end of the game, there'll be a video as well. And You know what I mean? We're ready for Portland. We're ready for them. We understand they are a bad team, but we also understand we've been playing bad. We're a bad team right now, too. Worst defense in the league right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if the score is high based on those metrics. And if we continue to do things the same way over and over again, we're going to get the same results. It is what it is. You keep switching, keep not feeding the hot hand. You know, you're going to find the results that come with that. They've already seen what they look like. So hopefully J.J. Redick is starting to get the picture. You got to switch it up, bro. I'm not the only one telling you this. You switch on everything, just like we ran drop coverage last year with on everything. If you do any one thing over and over again, you're just going to get figured out. You got to switch it up. BDL 44, I thank you all for watching.